Currently, the world uses two different systems for figuring out their zodiacs and for creating birth charts. So these two systems are the Western system and the Vedic system. The Western system is often called Tropical Zodiac, and the Indian system is often called the Sidereal Zodiac. And there is a striking difference between the two. So even though both Western and Sidereal Zodiac are going to produce a beautiful enough birth chart for you, the difference between them is going to be about 24 degrees. So if your sun is at 5 degrees in the Sidereal Zodiac, in the Tropical Zodiac, it would be at 29 degrees because 24 plus 5 would be 29 degrees. So whenever you have to move between these two zodiacs, you'll either have to add or subtract 24 degrees. To go from sidereal to tropical, you add 24 degrees, and to go from tropical to sidereal, you deduct or subtract 24 degrees. That is how the zodiac will work between the two. So if you have the coordinates for either of these zodiacs, you'll easily be able to work through the other zodiac as well. Just add 24 degrees and you're there. It's like just add a little bit of tea in hot water and you're through. Or add hot water to tea, whatever it is. Do whatever you like. So I primarily use the sidereal zodiac, even though I'm familiar with the tropical zodiac and I love using it at times, especially when it comes to making far-reaching predictions about a person and how their personality is going to develop over time. I use the tropical zodiac. However, I mostly stick to the sidereal zodiac, and that is mostly because I come across people who are looking for predictions and timings and all that. And for that, it is always better to use the sidereal or Vedic astrology side. Now, what exactly is the difference between the two? See, when it comes to the tropical or the Western zodiac, we are fixing things, but when it comes to the Vedic side of the zodiac, we are more open and more flexible, just like our cultures. The Indian culture. So the Indian culture is a lot more dynamic, a lot more flexible. It has many components, many moving parts, and everything is working all together. And you will definitely see changes happening in the Indian culture, a lot more dynamic changes happening in the Indian culture. But in the Western culture, things are a lot more rigid, a lot more fixed. Nothing wrong with either of that. And I don't believe one is better than the other. But that is how cultures are. That is how different countries, different people represent themselves and their thinking. So the sidereal zodiac is very flexible by nature. What it really sees is, if I am standing here at my house at a particular coordinate, and if I look up at the sky, this is how planets would appear to me, right? So it's as simple as that. Now, Indian Jyotish or Indian astrology is completely nakshatra based astrology. And what are nakshatras? They are constellations, and in fancy language, they are called lunar mansions because, of course, they're connected to the moon, and they are often called the wives of the moon. So they are connected to nakshatras, and from our perspective here on earth, nakshatras are fixed because the way that the earth is moving and the solar system is moving, or the Milky Way galaxy is moving, we will see them not changing their space often. They will be at a particular space only. And then the zodiac signs, the 12 zodiac signs, are superimposed over those nakshatras to figure out where a planet exactly is. That is Indian Jyotish in a nutshell. And to be very honest, for the Indian system of Jyotish to work, you do not even need the 12 signs, right? You can totally work with the nakshatras and it will still give you great results, right? Now let's come to the tropical side of the zodiac. So the tropical zodiac basically works with the seasons, and it works with the equinoxes. So when does spring start? That is where they are fixing everything. So since everything is fixed, so in the Western zodiac, you have to be born at a certain date or between two specific dates to be called a particular sign. So in the Western zodiac system, me, who's born on the 28th of July, is a Leo, because according to the Western system, being born between 21st July and 20th of August, if I'm not wrong, makes you a Leo. Everything is fixed according to the seasons. Everything is fixed to the equinoxes. Everything is fixed to the calendar. But in the Indian system, nothing is fixed to the calendar. Our new year does not start on 1st of January. It may start anytime in late March or in early April. It can happen at any given time because everything is moving, shifting, very dynamic here. But here in the tropical system, things are fixed. That's the reason why these two zodiac systems will always be slightly different from each other, right? And the difference between them right now is 24 degrees. So to go from tropical to Indian, subtract 24 degrees, and to grow from the sidereal or Indian system to the tropical system, you simply add 24 degrees and you will get a new and fresh birth chart, and it will give you very accurate predictions based on different criteria, right? So I use tropical a lot, and it gives you very, very accurate predictions, but in terms of progression of personality and not exactly in terms of pinpointing events and dates in a person's life. So the tropical zodiac system is what everybody is introduced to in the beginning, because no matter where you are, even if you're in India, you will always know that, oh, I'm born between these two dates, so I'm a Leo. In the Indian system, that's precisely not how we work. We will always see where the moon is in a on a particular day at a particular time. We'll check the nakshatra of the moon, and then we'll say that you are a particular sign, not without it. So that particularness, that interest in moon based systems and that dynamism is very important. What I've also noticed is that the Indian system, the sidereal system, also accounts for the changing of the patterns of the systems that we see from the Earth's point of view over several decades or several centuries. It accounts for the expansion of the universe because things are not fixed, they are mostly dynamic. So, zodiac signs will change. Nakshatras, even though they look or appear fixed right now to us, there will be a time that they will move slightly from their space. They will move slightly from where they are. So the Indian system accounts for everything because it is based on observation and not based on fixed rules. So I'll give you a very small example to understand how these two work. The tropical system says that this is a circle, and this circle has green, it has pink, and it has another circle, encased within the circle. That is how it is. That's the tropical system, and we base everything on that. In the Indian system, whenever a person is born, I will actually look up at the circle. This is the sky, and I'll be like, you know what? Today, this appears a lot more forest green than bottle green or moss green. So, since it is forest green and not lime green, it is a different kind of green, and therefore it must be given a different idea, a different angle, a different perspective. So, either way, you are going correct, you are doing the right thing. However, check tropical zodiac for progression of personality and check the sidereal zodiac for accurate predictions and for accurate timing. As for me, I use both of them, I like both of them, and I'm not against any system whatsoever. So that's about me. And as we move forward, I would mostly be focusing on how things move in sidereal zodiac because I follow the Indian system and I am more interested in how nakshatras work as compared to how signs are placed in different areas, right? Even in the Indian system, you'll come across Chalit Kudlis and different Ayanamsha. And they too will try to fix the zodiac, to fix the equinoxes somewhere to come to results, right? But I only prefer the Indian sidereal system, Lahari or Chitra Paksha, which is visible Paksha, and that is always the best. So thank you for watching. Let's move on ahead and let's talk about different concepts in astrology and how they function as we move on. Bye-bye. Take care.